What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV. You've joined us for the preview of Arsenal versus Newcastle in the semi-final of the EFL Cup. It's the first leg at the Emirates, 8 p.m. kickoff. And funny enough, yesterday I was watching the game against Liverpool.
Was there no intro?
Well, kind of, yeah, it's coming.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday I was watching Liverpool versus Man United. I was watching it with my friend Ed, yeah. And then he was saying, Cecil, we've got to believe we can still win the league. Like, just trust me, just keep believing. Something could happen in this game. I said, Eddie, how? And it actually happened. They drew, and they got a point. But this is not about the Premier League. This is going to be about, obviously, the Cup. And we're playing the Magpies for the second time. They say when you see two Magpies, it's good luck. Let's hope we have the luck is all on our side against them come tomorrow.
You ain't got a friend called Ed, have you?
No, I haven't got a friend called Ed. But Eddie Howe is...
And seeing two Magpies, we're not playing 11 birds out there tomorrow night.
Yeah, but it's the second time we're playing them. So I think like twice we're playing the Magpies. Two Magpies are supposed to be good luck. One for sorrow, two for joy.
Maybe no intros might be good luck as well.
That was so bad.
Since you brought them in, we've been messing about this season.
Nah.
Oh, no. That was awful.
You didn't have poetry last season. We went all the way to game week 38.
Yeah, it's true. But we didn't win anything last season, so maybe this could be the year.
We'll
the year of poetry could be the year we win something. Let's fingers crossed.
I said Eddie Howe. Nice. And you took so long to get there.
I know. Because I really want to build up a little bit. Anyway,
build it up a little bit. Comment section, man.
Shambolic.
Anyway, people, welcome. Let's discuss. Obviously, Newcastle actually played in North London. They played against Spurs literally this weekend has just gone. So they're back in North London again. Tuesday night. Firstly, let's just get our feelings as fans at the moment after the game against Brighton. Start with you, James, ahead of this game against Newcastle.
Sorry, what was the question?
How are you feeling ahead of Newcastle, the Newcastle game in the Cup?
I'll tell you what's quite refreshing about it is that Brighton, Brentford, none of that matters. I mean, sure, it does in terms of form or whatever, but it's Cup week. I actually realised something. I think this might be the first time in Arsenal's history that we're playing in 1 month in all four competitions. We've got Premier League, Carabao, FA Cup and Champions League, because Champions League, obviously pre this format, would always be wrapped up by December.
Yeah.
So in our 9 games, we're playing in all four competitions, which is quite exciting. It's quite... If any month is going to make the point to us that there's more to play for than just the Premier League, it's this one.
Yep.
And it's Cup week, and I want big wins in both. More importantly, I won the big win on Tuesday night because I think St James's Park is going to be a battle the way they're looking at the moment. And the main ice is a case of getting through because of what they did at Anfield. It looks like they might have clicked a bit. So, yeah, it's a big week, and it's nice because it's new. We can just put the Premier League stuff aside for a sec. I really want to go through in both, and I really want to be in a Cup final.
Yeah, and Turkish yourself, because Newcastle won 6 out of 6 games. They're in good form. They're a team that's obviously frustrated Arsenal in the past, which I'm sure we'll talk about when we played them obviously early on in the season. It was their first home game, actually, the game that we lost against them. But how are you feeling ahead of Tuesday night's game?
It's one we just got to win. You know, give some life back into the season, I think, because the Premier League isn't going the way we all wanted. So this is what I'll call a welcome shift away from there, because at this moment in time, I don't see a great outcome from the Premier League. Whereas with the Carabao Cup, we're in a semi-final. 2 legs. Yes, we go St James Park, but that's not for another 3 weeks. So form can change a hell of a lot in the next 3-4 weeks even. So I won't worry too much about that one yet, but I will if we don't win tomorrow night. We have to win. And in my opinion, we have to try to do it by at least a couple goal margin. Because Newcastle are a threat. They have better attacking qualities than we do, especially. They have better attacking quality than we do with a Saka in our side. Without Saka, tenfold. They've got more threats than us in attack. And they've probably got, they've got the better midfield.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to go, we're going to go through.
This ain't an easy, we have to win the game, full stop. No excuses. And I wouldn't feel comfortable with anything aside from a 2-goal margin, whether that's 2-0, 3-1. It's a big ask, but it's not necessarily
not really,
when you consider where we are.
A win has to be by 1-goal margin. I'd like an extra goal. I mean, in all seriousness, it's that simple. You need something that's like a bit more than a win, because I agree with Turkish. I think it's going to be really hard to go to St James's Park. Look, we're capable of going there and drawing. We're capable of winning this game 1-0 and getting a 1-1 there or something like that. We are. But I do agree with Turkish. I think while you got them at the Emirates, I was arguing that I think the fact that it's at the Emirates first is a good thing.
Yeah,
Normally
a lot of fans
I wouldn't.
a lot of fans would say, it's better to get
Do you
them
know
on a
why
reverse
that's
fixture.
taken? Just sorry to cut you, Jim, but do you know why that I agree with you. That's taken on more importance or relevance, one or the other for me, because if we can get a 2-goal swing in this game, and looking at where Newcastle are now, a question mark for them come the second leg in February will be, we're 2 goals down here, but we're also 5th in the league, 6th in the league. We're not too far off Champions League. Give them something to think about in the second leg. Maybe rotate because they feel like it's too far gone and they want to prioritise trying to get Champions League football. Yeah. So the least we can do in this game is to give them that, that question.
Well, I also think normally I'd say you won the second leg at home because we've got to do it in front of your home fans. Where I think this is slightly different is St James's Park. It can have that Anfield-esque especially the way they play Newcastle with a really hard-working 3-man midfield, a tight front three of Gordon, Isak, whether it be Murphy, Almiron, whoever, and they can get really on top of you. Remember when they beat PSG 4-0 last season? Wasn't that surprising? Now on paper, Newcastle back in the Champions League for the first time against French giants PSG. That result should never happen, but it wasn't that surprising for anyone who knows St James's Park and what this Newcastle team are about. And I actually think with the form we've been on, had this been the first game at St James's Park, I think there's every chance we get overrun in that first game, that we actually just struggle to kind of get up to speed and keep up to pace, because it's a big one for them. They want a cup desperately too. They haven't had one in 50 plus
almost
years or
70.
something.
Well, there we go. 70 years winning a major trophy.
So I think at the Emirates, try wrestle control of the time. Then you go to St James's knowing what we need. I think that's better, because even if we lost this game at the Emirates 1-0, which obviously would be a disaster, that Arsenal have to play at St James's Park, and then that is in their minds, and maybe that's so. I just think better thing that we're at the Emirates first, go there knowing what we need to do.
It's a tough one, because I hear what you're saying, but again, like I said, we're on the cusp of not winning a major on almost 70 years. They got to the final of this competition. We know how much for Newcastle it would mean for them to get into, to win this trophy. I think the playing at their place, it's a hoodoo that we kind of need to overcome. But in that game, in their first home game of the season this season, we weren't outplayed. I don't think we weren't bad in that game. Isak scored a great header, and they played well. But I feel like Arsenal can beat them at St James's Park. I know it doesn't, in recent history, probably doesn't show that, but we should be able to get over that.
2-0 in the last season, no?
Yeah,
was that
season before?
Season before. So we've got a win in there.
Yeah. So either way,
we weren't. And sorry, in the last 2 defeats, the 2-1-0s there. I agree. Though we weren't outclassed, outplayed. We
outfought.
Yeah, and we never showed our class. I mean, we were miles off it in both those games in terms of our attacking level, but at the same time, I never felt there was a lot in it in terms of the two teams. We've sort of cancelled each other out. But you look at the last time we played at the Emirates 4-1, we looked really, really good that day, but they were going through a bit of a lull. I mean, I think the thing to look at, if you want an idea for Newcastle, is obviously their recent run of games, their recent form, but that second half against Tottenham, I felt that they were worked hard. I mean, they came out with a really good win in North London. Fair play to them. They worked really hard for that. And that's where I just think we can release the handbrake a little bit. I think we will have some joy. I don't think they are. When they came to the Emirates in the 22-23 campaign, they played like prime Atletico Madrid under Simeone. It just felt like it was going to take magic to actually get that ball in the back of the net. I'm not sure Newcastle are quite like that, but maybe they've got more attacking impetus this time.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think you're right. We keep going on the same narrative of let's just release the handbrake. I watched that Spurs Newcastle game intently, and it seems like it was like a basketball match. I think
great game.
Oh yeah, I think Newcastle and this is going to sound crazy to some people. I think Liverpool have similarities in a way. They're just like they're all out. They're like go for it. I think
there are similarities. Newcastle a few years ago were very similar to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. I think tactically.
Yeah, and I'm watching them on the eye. I feel that there's a lot of similarities there, and I feel like what I worry for in this game is Arsenal. How do we manage the game? Like Turkish, how would you want to see Arsenal play this? Would you want to see, because it's very much control. Even at Brighton, we score and then we half sit and we kind of trying to protect the lead. I think against Newcastle, even at the Emirates, even though last time I remember watching them at Emirates, they were very defensive and wasting time and whatnot. I think it'd be very different going into this game. I think they're going to try and go for it, and rightly so. And how do Arsenal counter that? Do they look to control, or do you think we should try and release the handbrake a little bit anyway? Or because of missing players, we may not be able to do that to the level you want to see.
As much as football's gone down this direction, football isn't chess, and I don't want to. I'm not here. I don't want to talk about managing the game. Just go fight for fucking 90 minutes and win the game. I don't get, and I'm not getting onto you for that. In general, people talk about managing the game. I'm sorry, go and fucking win the game. 90 minutes fight, leave everything on the line. Quality should prevail, and now this is where the question mark comes in: who has more quality? Because Newcastle have a hell of a lot of quality in midfield.
Who has more fight in that? Look at that Newcastle team. You've got Bruno Gomes not available. If you have Joe Linton, you have.
They've got more players that their character fit to fight. Yeah. But at the same time, we've gone to game week 38 and nearly won the league. Nearly being the key word, but taking it all the way, getting that points tally, goals scored, goals conceded. There's definitely fight in the side. We showed it the year before with late goals, whether it's Reece Nelson against Bournemouth or Eddie Nketiah against United. There's fight in the side, but we're coming up against a side that, has it in equal measure, if not more. Now, in terms of managing the game, manage it by winning it. I don't give a shit if you want to try control the first 10, control the last 20, have a mix. I'm just a football fan. I'm not a football genius or a manager in the making or someone that's interested in even going into that world. I'm not. So the question of managing
you want two clear goals though. So you're gonna want. And for me, I look at the Arsenal team and think, where does that come from? I know we're looking very deep into this one fixture, but you don't. Yeah, I hear you just want them to win the game. 2 clear goals. I'm looking at our team who's going to be available. There'll be a predicted 11 video coming out. I find it tough to see that, especially against this Newcastle side who I think they're going to cause us a lot of problems come Tuesday.
Of course they are. Of course they are. They got a good side.
Yeah, they got a well-balanced side, really well-balanced.
And you can't talk about how you manage until you see how they approach it as well. And the questions they throw up in the first 10, first 15, first 20. But I think we're in a place now where I don't think it's a case of overthinking this now. It's about maybe releasing a little bit of that handbrake. It's about giving a little bit more freedom now. I think going further down the overcoaching and overthinking route won't bode well at this point in time.
But I always thought, sure, I've talked about managing the game from 1 or 2 up, but I always thought managing the game as well is something you do from a position of adversity. It's like, all right, we're struggling here a little bit. They've got a foothold in the game. Manage it. Fullbacks drop a bit deeper, get a bit tighter, get into your shape, get through the next 5-10 minutes because we're struggling here. I think what Arsenal got really wrong against Brighton was I thought we were playing some really good football. That first goal, I mean, the passes were sensational. If we won that game, we're watching that goal on repeat for the sequence of passes. Waneri's through and goal 1-0 up. And then we seem to be managing the game from like the 30th minute, only 1-0 up with a time wasting, a yellow card from Waneri on a corner. And it's just like we took all the air out of the game when we had it. Like we had the momentum. And then Brighton come back fighting in the second half and they really up their physicality and their levels, their energy. And we wonder why we couldn't just turn it back on and match that, because we'd almost voluntarily drop that.
Can Arsenal do that? When teams go, all right, let's have it then. I don't want to, not in a tactical way. Let's go for it.
Yeah, we've got that in us.
We have.
Yeah, I think so. I think the one thing Arteta's added is real physicality and steel to this team. I think they're fighters. I think there's players out there, willing to battle, and I haven't seen that at Arsenal.
We've gone too far into that, though.
Yeah. Well, that's the argument.
The question is, part of the question is that, but have we got the quality to go end to end with teams? We don't.
Yeah. Because we don't
have the midfield and we don't have the attack to be confident.
Yeah. When I say let's have it, I know that seems more aggression and physicality. I'm also saying like, okay, you're going to attack us. Well, we'll go at you.
Oh,
then. That's my. Sorry. Let's have it was a bit blasé, but I'm saying like, you're going to attack us. Okay, when we come back at you, like you said, the quality. I don't think we don't have enough right now to say if we make it into a basketball match, who's going to come out victorious? Because I haven't seen Arsenal do that enough.
I don't think if we imagine a football pitch, right? I don't think Arteta likes the ball going from here to here that quickly, because your attackers go up, the defense haven't come back, then it's gone back, then the attackers need to, and then before you know, that shape is stretched, and it becomes, and you see, how many times are you watching a game and you go, oh, the game's opened up?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like the last thing Arteta ever wants, for the game to open up.
Probably his worst
I
nightmare.
think he wants, if the
It's
ball
true.
is here and we need to get it to here, we all move together. We've lost it. Okay, we either press or we all move back. I think he just wants this tight unit, constantly moving
it's
up.
spot on.
And I think that's why we don't counter-attack well. Because I think there are opportunities to play 2-3 passes and we're in. Now, of course, Arteta would love for us to be able to do that, but I don't think we're wired or coached positionally
No, we're not
to
coached.
be in a shape to go, right, great, we can go from one end of the pitch to the other.
But why do you say he'd love for us to do it when I that's the man that has put us in this place?
I think, he loves it. Do you remember the Havertz goal against Chelsea last season when Odegaard just played? I think it's like,
a great ball.
I don't think he looks at that goal and goes, yeah, but let's not keep trying that. And I think he's talked about wanting to score lots of goals in different ways.
By a
But
striker that runs in behind. So if that example of you need a striker that consistently runs in behind, and he goes against the grain with that. So
he
plays him in the midfield.
like,
But it's sometimes on the players as well to just go, we can score here, bam, we're going to do it. And
that's what we said about in Forever, when getting a player that knows in that moment he can make the difference and does something that maybe Arteta's looking at him and said, don't do that.
Yeah,
he does it.
Yeah,
And something comes from
because
it.
I look at the wingers in that sense, and it seems like, we get the ball and no one really wants to push it and run. I watched Dalot against Trent push it and run past his man. Like, I haven't seen our players do, like, we can do that. There's a quality. The players can do that. Do it. But it must be. I think it must be instructed. It must be coached. It frustrates me at times. However, can you get too annoyed at it because the way Arsenal plays sometimes, I'm in awe at. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I think when it comes into this game against Newcastle, you're going to see some open moments. I just hope we can capitalise on it. I think it's going to be an intriguing game. We've done a lot of conversation around it, and I want to just read off some things before we get to score predictions. The Gunners are now unbeaten in all competitions in 13 consecutive matches. We haven't lost at home either this season, which is a bonus. I just want to also mention.
And the only disgraceful result in that is the Everton draw at home. I mean, really, you've got to, in most other contexts, drawing at Fulham the form they're in and drawing at Brighton the form they're in is not the end of the form they're in. They've drawn a lot of their games, but they're a good team. Normally that wouldn't be the complete end of the world, but because of the way the first half of the season has gone, they became really, really important. So the form isn't diabolical on paper,
It's not.
but when you're watching the football, that Arsenal are miles from the attacking levels that we need to compete for a title.
100%. And I believe that in this competition, I think Newcastle, they went through a few Premier League teams to get to where they are. I think Chelsea is Brentford. There's one other Premier League team. I've got here Nottingham Forest as well. So we had a bit of an okay journey. It's going to be a tough competition against Newcastle. Tough opposition. And for clarity as well, there'll be a predicted 11 video, but there's no Fabian Schär and there's no Bruno Guimaraes as well. They're not available for this game because of suspension, I believe, because of the yellow cards.
That is really big.
Yeah, so that's
really big.
Yeah, massive. Obviously, Sven Botman come in centre back for Schär. But obviously, I don't know if you guys watched the Tottenham game. He's obviously come back from injury. He wasn't at the level that
Also,
he
he
has
was playing
been in the
right
past.
centre back, wasn't he? And as a left footer, that could be awkward, especially because they get their full backs up the pitch. Interesting.
It won't be awkward against our wingers.
No, that's very true.
I want to back.
Trossard, leave him to it, mate. Jesus, leave them to it.
Ethan double up on.
Ethan, he ain't gonna be.
Yeah, he's not going to be available actually this way. He's got a muscular injury, but we'll get onto that. Get into all of that in the predicted 11 video. Let's get to score predictions now. James.
Well, I can't remember what I said for Arsenal. Did I say 3-1?
Yeah.
Wow.
At the risk of jinxing it, I'm playing as Arsenal football manager, and I actually had Newcastle in the Carabao Cup semi-final, like genuinely, first leg, and we won 3-1. I then lost the second leg 6-1, but we won the.
Fuck, you could have kept that to yourself. That great.
But we won the.
Should have said
Won the
that.
first leg. Great. We'll go with that.
So I feel pretty good.
Yeah. Let's hope you're not the oracle on this one. Turkish.
2-2.
Sticking with that.
It's just a running theme for me now. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to get from this side. Third 2-2 prediction in a row, because I just don't know which way the game can go. It can go any which way. I'm not confident in our attack. Nice to hear Bruno's out, because that is a big loss for their midfield, but their midfield is still better than ours without Bruno. So, I mean, I can see a 2-1 win either way. I can see a 2-2 draw. I'm gonna go with the 2-2.
and I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle, which I think will shock a lot of people. But that's how I feel right now. That's where I'm at. I don't see Arsenal. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just don't see them win this game, which is mad. It'll be the first loss at home this season. But that's where I'm at. Make sure you check out all the content in build up to this game coming your way from AFTV. And also, like I mentioned, check out the Predicted 11 video. We'll see you again soon. Take care.